2 in the morning. I carried an Australian lobster with a 3,000 yuan delivery fee. Following the villa butler listed on the order into the dining room, I saw my wife, who claimed to be away on business, seated in the place of honor, surrounded by admirers. I thought my eyes were deceiving me. Then several men around her teased Shuang with laughter. That poor husband of yours, working 2 jobs and delivering food late at night. When are you going to dump him? He still does not know you are the heir to the Ling group. Your personal fortune is worth tens of billions of yuan, right? How could a poor nobody like Chengyun ever deserve you? Stunned, I slowed my steps. Instinctively, I activated my phone's quick recording function. My wife lifted her red wine and took a sip. She said disdainfully, if it were not to protect Lin Shen, why would I ever have married Chengyun? Lin Shen returns next month. Before then, I will divorce Chengyun. I clenched my teeth in disbelief. The rage of being fooled shot straight to my head. Divorce was fine, but we would split the assets. In the grand dining room lined with floor-to-ceiling windows, my wife's wealthy friends kept egging her on. Chengyun loves you so much. Can you really bear to divorce him? I lowered my head and gripped the bag holding the Australian lobster. My wife's scornful voice reached me. What is there to miss? If I want attention and reassurance, plenty of men will pamper me. I married him to show my father just how low I could marry. Lin Shen is still a child of the Lin family. Chengyun is just an ordinary man. His family business cannot help at all. You only feel the sting when you compare. The rich heirs all laughed. They pressed on. Now that you put it that way, it makes sense. So Uncle Ling has agreed to you being with Lin Shen? My wife set down her wine. Under the lights, her lovely features wore a contemptuous smile. Once Lin Shen returns, he will surely drive out the illegitimate son and take control. My father has no reason to object. Her first love is returning, and the company has gone public. Shuang has hit the jackpot. Congratulations, Miss Ling. Your long wait has finally paid off. Amid the lively cheers, the butler impatiently shoved me, telling me to leave through the side door. Do not spoil Miss Ling's mood. A shuttle outside will take you to the villa entrance. I gave a vague reply. My limbs stiff, I headed for the kitchen's side door. My wife's childhood friend's mocking laughter rang out clearly again. Chengyun has no idea that what he earns in 3 years would not even be enough to buy Miss Ling a car, would it? He does not know that not a cent of his hard-earned money went to the hospital. Miss Ling transferred all of it to Lin Shen. That is our miss for you. She treats that poor fool like a dog. When Ling divorces him, should we saddle him with debt? Leave him trapped in the mud forever? My chest tightened. I instinctively strained to listen. A moment later, my wife's laughter echoed through the dining room. Forget the debt. I will make sure he gets nothing. The boisterous jeers gradually faded from my ears. Even the cheapest standalone villa in Lantingyuan cost at least 100 million yuan. The residents were all rich or powerful. Security was exceptionally strict. Sitting in the shuttle, my thoughts were a tangled mess. I could not believe my wife of 3 years was the Ling group's heir. Our 3 years of happy marriage had been a scheme from beginning to end. How laughable. To raise money for her grandmother's surgery, I worked 2 jobs and delivered food at night. Yet she lived in a villa worth over 100 million yuan. She paid 3,000 yuan for rush delivery just to eat lobster sooner. She planned to divorce me without giving me a cent. If I did not tear a pound of flesh from her, I would betray the sincere devotion I gave for 3 years. My wife and I met at an artificial intelligence forum in hiking. I was 4 years older than her. We dated for a year. We both thought the other was wonderful. The day after she met my parents, we registered our marriage. Shuang told me her parents had divorced long ago. Neither of them wanted her. Soon, each started a new family and had new children. She could only live with her grandmother. Her grandmother suffered from chronic heart failure. She needed lifelong medication and regular follow-up visits, even excluding medical bills after insurance and chronic illness reimbursements. A caregiver alone cost 8,000 yuan each month. My monthly after-tax salary was around 60,000 yuan. My wife's was a little over 30,000 yuan after tax. Before Grandma developed serious complications, we were doing fairly well. We had no mortgage and no children. Our quality of life kept improving after we married. Sadly, it only lasted 6 months. For more than 2 years, Grandma was resuscitated 6 times, admitted to the intensive care unit 4 times, and her treatment cost over 3 million yuan. Our savings quickly ran dry. Life became tight because of it. The more I thought about it, the more I hated her. I returned to the rest area of a 24-hour supermarket and calmly considered how to divide my wife's assets in the divorce. I knew the Ling group It was one of Haiqin's largest conglomerates. The group shares my wife held, whether acquired before marriage or inherited afterward, gave me no claim to their dividends. At that thought, I took out my phone and messaged every group chat. Does anyone have contact information for a good private investigator? Urgently needed. To earn more money, I had joined nearly 20 job groups. As long as it paid, I took any job. After I sent the message, only someone from the late night rush jobs group replied, "The fees are a little steep, but I guarantee the evidence we find will be legally admissible." I immediately added him as a contact. Once he accepted, I opened the detailed list of services he sent. I calmly replied, "Let me organize the information. I will get back to you before noon tomorrow." He replied instantly, "Once you decide, let us meet and discuss it. For a major case, we will need to sign an agreement." I replied, "Okay." I closed the chat and searched online for information about my wife's company. The company's stock hit the daily limit on its first day of trading. I made a tidy profit on the shares I had managed to buy. I only had myself to blame for trusting her too much. She had fooled me like an idiot for years. 5 in the morning. After work, I went home, slept a scant 3 hours, then my alarm jolted me awake. I dragged myself up, washed up, and messaged every group chat. Who knows any gossip about the Lin family in hiking? A moment later, a contact I had never spoken with messaged me. "I know gossip about the Lin family. A wealthy heir deceived a gifted researcher from a small town and made her work herself to the bone for him. The new drug she developed finally reached the market. Then the rich young master kicked her aside and married his childhood sweetheart. From a matching family, the illegitimate son entered the family, and the legitimate son was cast out." After reading the messages, an unbelievable thought entered my mind. The grandmother Ling Shuang had asked me to help care for was Lin Shen's grandmother. The thought disgusted me. The next moment, the person who messaged me added me to a gossip group about wealthy families. Just then, my wife called. "Honey, did you miss me last night? I have to stay here a few more days to finish work." "I miss you." I gritted my teeth hard. Forcing myself to soothe her as before, I said, "I missed you so much I could barely sleep. Do not worry about Grandma. When I get off work at noon, I will go keep her company." "Thank you, honey. Without you, I really would not know what to do. Love you." My wife smiled and sweet-talked me for a while before ending the call. I saved the call recording. I connected my phone to my computer and carefully saved every chat record with my wife. Then I uploaded them to cloud storage. To divide marital assets, I needed a lawyer. They were the professionals. After saving the chat records, I searched through everything and found a patent licensing agreement. I let out a deep sigh of relief. After putting the agreement away, I called in and took leave from work. I drove to Haiking's second hospital, the city's most renowned hospital for treating heart failure. At the payment kiosk, I checked the billing records for Lin Shen's grandmother. What my wife had messaged me was true. Lin Shen's grandmother still had over 700,000 yuan in prepaid hospital funds. The money I had transferred to my wife must have been transferred to Lin Shen through Grandma's account. It was revolting. My wife had money, yet pretended to be poor. She even used my hard-earned money to support her first love. I printed every detailed record. Then I went upstairs to the cardiology ward. Grandma was still asleep. Her social security card and house keys were in the drawer of her bedside table. My heartbeat quickened. I opened the drawer to confirm it, then shut it again. I adjusted my phone camera to the right angle, then softly woke her. "Grandma, Lin Shen is coming back." I had to make sure everything I did was legal. Otherwise, Ling Shuang could accuse me of trespassing, claim valuables were missing, and call the police to have me arrested. Grandma instantly woke up. Tears filled her eyes as she stared blankly at me. Ling Shuang told me Lin Shen is coming back. His house has not been cleaned in a long time. She asked me to clean the place, but only with your permission. Can I get proof that you and Ling Shuang are not related? Tears rolled down Grandma's face. She trembled as she spoke. "Good child. The keys are in the drawer. Thank you for all your trouble." "It is no trouble. Lin Shen will not leave once he comes back. From now on, we will take care of you together." I forced a fake smile. Instead of rushing to get the keys, I stayed and talked with her about Lin Shen. She really was Lin Shen's biological grandmother. After accompanying her through her required daily examinations, Lin Shen's grandmother was exhausted and fell asleep. I took the keys and calmly left the hospital. On the way to Lin Shen's grandmother's house, I hired an hourly cleaner to come with me. There were no cameras in that house. The video I filmed myself would not be enough to prove my innocence. I had to eliminate any chance of being framed. Lin Shen's grandmother lived not far from where Ling Shuang and I lived. I unlocked the door and went inside. The house was spotless, as if someone came to clean it regularly. Thinking of how much Ling Shuang cared about Lin Shen, I felt sickened all over again. The cleaner and I did some basic cleaning. While the cleaner was not looking, I entered Grandma's room and found the household register. I took out my phone and photographed the original. Then I hid the original safely again. Photos alone were not enough. I needed copies. I returned the drawer to exactly how it was. I called the cleaner over, and we cleaned Lin Shen's room together. I found quite a few more useful items. There were love letters written by Ling Shuang, along with a letter of commitment. She had previously pretended to be away on business, but had actually come here to reminisce about Lin Shen and write countless diary entries. This evidence gave me leverage to negotiate with Ling Shuang. I should be grateful that Ling Shuang's father was so domineering. He used the Ling family's resources to send Lin Shen abroad to study, on the condition that Ling Shuang could not visit him overseas during that time. If he discovered Ling Shuang was pretending to obey while secretly defying him, he would take back all her Ling group shares, with proof that Ling Shuang had no blood relation to Lin Shen's grandmother. I messaged her first, "Honey, my company may send me on a business trip to Yuncheng. Did you not say you wanted to spend a couple of days enjoying Yuncheng? Here is your chance." Ling Shuang immediately called me. Her voice was urgent. "When are you leaving?" My business partner changed their plans at the last minute. "I might take the high-speed train back tomorrow morning." "Is that so?" "I will not know until after my meeting this afternoon. Since you're coming back, I won't go." I said coldly, "I miss you so much. Good thing I called you first, or we would have missed each other again." Ling Shuang visibly relaxed. She sweet-talked me for a long while before ending the call. A new revelation appeared in the wealthy family gossip group. The Ling group's 30th anniversary celebration. The heir would formally make an appearance. It was happening 1 week from now. I ground my back teeth together. I contacted the private investigator I had added last night and sent him the meeting address. The private investigator wore a mask and sunglasses and brought a lawyer with him. After I explained what I wanted, I looked at him nervously. "A wealthy family, huh?" The investigator gave an amused smile. He spoke hurriedly. "Most people in wealthy families are extremely shrewd. It is difficult for ordinary people to uncover their accounts. You pay according to the evidence we find. Also, you need to prepare a complaint and file for divorce. Request an investigation order from the court. Our lawyer will guide you on how to gather evidence, so you can legally divide the marital assets." I stared at the price list for a while, then hesitantly asked, "Can you investigate overseas?" If Ling Shuang's first love was really that wonderful, how could my father-in-law oppose them being together? Before the investigator could answer my question, a video appeared in the gossip group. The group instantly erupted. "Is that not Miss Ling's first love? The woman passionately kissing him is not Miss Ling. Her first love cheated on her. Miss Ling got cheated on." I quickly downloaded the video. Lin Shen had another woman. This was wonderful. "We can investigate overseas too. Give us the details, and we can find it within 3 days at most. For overseas investigations, you must pay in full once you receive the information." I commissioned a 100,000 yuan investigation into Lin Shen, and I would pay once I received all his information. Then, as the investigator's lawyer instructed, I retained the lawyer to file for divorce and request a court investigation order. I began gathering proof of my contributions to Lingyun technology. I had helped make its public listing a success. Ling Shuang did not come home. She called to explain. "My creepy boss found another new business partner, so I need to stay another week. Please take good care of Grandma. You have worked hard, honey." "I will take good care of Grandma and wait for you to come back." I swallowed all the hatred boiling inside me. I did not expose her. Instead, I posted in the job group, "Remember me if you need technical maintenance work. Guaranteed professional service." Large hotels have their own equipment maintenance teams, but to prevent accidents, they hire outside help for major events. 10 minutes after I posted, someone immediately added me. "There is a company anniversary celebration, and we need technical support. 1,000 yuan an hour." I accepted his friend request. Without bargaining, I agreed. The hotel was owned by the Ling Group. It was 6-star. They needed to ensure that on the night of the banquet, when the giant screen displayed the Ling Group's achievements and history, it would not be interrupted by an unauthorized screencast. After finishing my work, I found time that afternoon to visit Lingyun Technology. The receptionist on duty did not know me. In a strictly professional tone, she said, "To see President Ling, you need an appointment. Without one, I cannot pass along your request." Is President Ling not away on a business trip? I feigned surprise. President Ling is not on a business trip. She is signing a contract with an overseas distributor today. She will be here shortly. The receptionist looked thoroughly impatient. Sorry to bother you. I will go back and have my supervisor make an appointment. I had gotten the information I wanted. I gave her an apologetic smile and turned to leave. Ling Shuang was the company's founder and boss. If she valued an overseas contract, she should be welcoming the other party at the front entrance. I found a good angle and waited about half an hour. Ling Shuang stepped out of a custom Brabus, dressed in a tailored khaki suit. I had seen the board secretary at her side before. Ling Shuang had told me that person was an ordinary colleague. After filming it, I deliberately called Ling Shuang. She hung up immediately. A trace of displeasure flashed across her face. I gave a mocking smile and turned away. An hour later, Ling Shuang called me herself. There was a hint of anxiety in her voice. The receptionist said you came looking for me. No, I did not. It was probably one of your company's partners or distributors. I know you are away on business. I lied through my teeth. I ended the call. Someone uploaded a video of Ling Shuang to the gossip group. She and several equally glamorous women were drinking in a private lounge booth. Her mocking voice was painfully shrill. I cannot let Chengyun find out who I really am. A poor man like him. If he learns my identity, he will demand a fortune in the divorce. Do not be like me. Have fun if you want, but never get married. I gritted my teeth and saved the video. Inside, I sneered again and again. I would not just take a share of her money. I would make her lose her right to inherit. I would make her understand that humiliating ordinary people comes at a price. 3 days later, the investigators sent me detailed information on Lin Shen's life overseas. The woman passionately kissing him was his wife. They had a child together. They had legally registered their marriage there. None of their classmates knew about their relationship. They thought the two were merely classmates. I played the recording. Lin Shen's unfamiliar voice came through clearly. Once I get my degree, I will go back first. With Ling Shuang helping me, securing the inheritance of Lin Pharmaceutical will be no problem. That bastard father of mine was in such a rush to launch the drug back then that he concealed some data from the Phase 3 clinical trials. I have the specific data. I do not love Ling Shuang. If she is willing to be my stepping stone, there is no reason for me to hold back. She brought it on herself. Ling Shuang's cherished first love was rotten to the core. I was almost looking forward to seeing Ling Shuang learn Lin Shen's true colors and break down. After I finished reviewing Lin Shen's information, the lawyer the investigator introduced gave me a grave warning. An heir to a wealthy family like your wife will have an exceptionally strong legal team to prevent assets from being divided. Even with evidence, it will be difficult to get any money. If you have enough evidence, you could try reporting her for marriage fraud. Something stirred inside me. I loosened my clenched fist and said hoarsely, draft a divorce agreement first. Dividing our marital assets. The total is 2 billion yuan. If that does not work, I will report her for marriage fraud. The Ling group will not let a con artist become its heir. I truly had evidence that Ling Shuang had tricked me into marriage. The lawyer drafted a simple divorce agreement for me. He told me it would take time to uncover her personal post-marriage asset list. He would add it as an attachment then. I thanked him gratefully. I printed several copies of the agreement. I called my parents and told them I was getting divorced. I also told them Ling Shuang's true identity, so they could prepare themselves. My parents retired last year. Now they filmed videos documenting the renovation of our ancestral home back in our hometown. They had over 100,000 followers online. They were minor internet celebrities. My parents supported my divorce. They also said they were not afraid of Ling Shuang's retaliation. They would switch from pre-recorded videos to live streams. If anyone came looking for trouble, they were not afraid. That put my mind at ease. I patiently waited for the investigators' results. Before the results came in, Ling Shuang sent me a message first. Grandma's doctor asked when we could gather enough for the surgery. Her condition cannot wait any longer. I stared blankly at my phone screen for a while. Then I slowly replied, we are still short by nearly 100,000 yuan. Once I get this month's paycheck, it should almost be enough. I will borrow some living expenses from classmates and co-workers. I will borrow some from my classmates too. Once you have it, transfer it straight to me. I replied with a nodding sticker. Then I promptly took screenshots and saved them. In 3 years of marriage, there had been over 100 messages like this asking for money, an average of more than 3 a month. Everyone was evidence of Ling Shuang's marriage fraud. A little after 7 that evening, I came home from work to find Ling Shuang waiting with dinner prepared. If the hotel takeout bags had not been left in the trash, I might have believed she had actually cooked. Over our 3-year marriage, she had prepared plenty of surprises like this, and I had never realized it was all fake. It feels so good to be home. I could not eat or sleep well out there, Shuang said with a smile, then complained. My boss is such a freak. I do not even know where he found that business partner. He agreed to sign only if we drank the fruit wine his wife brewed with him. I am afraid one glass of that wine will send us all to meet the Grim Reaper. I smiled. After washing my hands and sitting down, I asked, did your boss not give you hazard pay? He is too cheap for that. Why would he give hazard pay? I have to go on another business trip tomorrow. It is driving me mad. Shuang lowered her head and ate. She acted as if her boss were a vile capitalist. I sneered inwardly. Deliberately testing her, I asked, honey, when should we have a child? Obvious disgust flashed across Shuang's face. She hesitated before saying, Grandma's surgery is very risky this time. Let us talk about having children after Grandma is safely through it. I am sorry. I have dragged you down. It is okay. We are husband and wife. It is fine to have children later. I was only asking. With Grandma in this condition, we truly are not in a position to have a child. She was about to divorce me, yet she still acted as if our love were unbreakable. It disgusted me so much I nearly could not eat. Shuang had deceived me into marriage. She had been ruthless about hiding her identity and assets. But at least she had not stayed celibate for Shen. Our intimate life had always been satisfying. Shuang once again used a business trip as an excuse to move back into Lantingyuan. I pretended not to know. The next day, I submitted my resignation as soon as I got to work. I was a senior full-stack engineer in the company's research and development department. Besides my monthly salary and year-end bonus, I had some stock options. My other job was network maintenance. I did not need to be on site, but I had to deal with issues promptly. I did not know how long the divorce battle would drag on. Shuang's influence could not be underestimated. The day before the Ling group's anniversary celebration, a new message popped up in the gossip group. The Ling family's eldest daughter is turning 28. She is throwing a party at Lantingyuan. Who got an invitation? My heart stirred. Who got an invitation? My heart stirred. I messaged the guy who had added me to the group. Can you get into the eldest Miss Ling's birthday party? There will be too many people around, so do not spook her. If you can, bring me along, brother. Leave it to me. If you can, bring me along, brother. Leave it to me. That guy really did have connections among the wealthy. He replied almost instantly. I will wait for you at the entrance to Lantingyuan at 6 this evening. The license plate ends in 3 6s. Thanks. I tugged at the corner of my mouth and began preparing covert recording equipment. Around the friends she had grown up with, Shuang had never watched what she said. I needed more leverage on her to hit her hard in the divorce and show her that when ordinary people are pushed too far, they can threaten her position as heir too. My father-in-law had only one legitimate daughter, but he had several illegitimate sons. Shuang's birthday banquet was lively and lavish. She wore a custom white gown, with a crown encrusted with diamonds. Like a princess, she descended the curved staircase. Happy birthday, Miss Ling. The invited guests cheered loudly. I stood in a corner and watched it all coldly. For the first time, I truly felt the gulf between our worlds. This was Shuang's everyday life. Shuang said a few brief words, and the banquet officially began. The rich heirs who had supper with Shuang last time clustered around her and teased softly, Is that poor husband of yours wiring you money again? How much this time? Enough to buy a handbag? Shuang raised an eyebrow. With a disdainful laugh, she said, I told him Grandma's surgery would cost about 500,000 yuan. Once he gets paid, he will transfer it to me. All the rich heirs burst out laughing. They all chimed in. Poor people are so amusing. They work themselves to death for a few 100,000. Miss Ling spends more than that on a single party. Good thing you hid your identity. Otherwise, you would have been stuck supporting a poor man. No matter how handsome a poor man is, he is still just a plaything. Fine for fun, but not for marriage. Besides, Miss Ling did not lose out. Chengyun is certainly handsome, and he seems decent enough. Shuang blew lightly on her freshly done nails. With an almost smile, she said, Keeping a gigolo means paying him every month. I got him for free, and even made a few million yuan. I nearly ground my teeth to pieces. So this was how Shuang saw our marriage. How she saw me. Once I had recorded enough footage. I found the guy who had brought me in and let him know. Then left Lantingyuan before Shuang cut the cake. The Ling group had started in clothing. then expanded into several fields and established multiple subsidiaries. Ling Shuang's contemptuous remarks about ordinary people were enough to make her lose her inheritance rights for good. I would claim my share of the money and make her pay the price for what she had done. On the day of the Ling Group anniversary gala, I received Ling Shuang's personal asset list, excluding the growth after Lingyun Technology went public. Her investment profits during our marriage totaled nearly 2 billion yuan. That was the difference between someone born into wealth and an ordinary man like me. The wealth she gained so effortlessly. I might work my whole life and never earn even a fraction of it. When it comes to wealthy clients, we are not worried about collecting payment. The investigator generously told me to divorce first and pay their fee after I got the money. But I was afraid. Ling Shuang had made it clear she would not give me a single cent in the divorce. The gala began at 7 that evening. Dressed in an evening gown, Ling Shuang appeared on the arm of the Ling Group's chairman. She radiated confidence. After the chairman finished speaking, I activated the hidden recording device I had prepared. Wearing a mask, I deliberately approached Ling Shuang, who was surrounded by wealthy heirs. Media reporters have been invited to cover the gala. Are you not afraid Chengyun will see? So, what if he does? He is just an ordinary man. He cannot fight me, unless he wants to watch his parents go to prison in middle age. I trembled from rage. The hatred of being deceived surged to its peak again. My parents were my weak spot. The Ling family could rule hiking with an iron fist. But outside hiking, their influence might not be so great. I should thank her for reminding me of that. The gala was a great success. Ling Shuang accepted congratulations from every direction, until her smile nearly froze on her face. When she went to the restroom, I stepped out and blocked her path. Heir to the Ling Group, founder of Lingyun Technology, partner at Shuang Capital, eldest Miss Ling. Did pretending to be poor and deceiving me make you feel accomplished? Ling Shuang's pupils constricted. She stared at me in disbelief. How are you here? I gave a mocking smile. I leaned down and hissed through clenched teeth in her ear. I take freelance jobs for extra cash to raise money for your grandmother's surgery. Now that Miss Ling has returned to her wealthy family, have you forgotten all the lies you told? Ling Shuang's face darkened instantly. She looked at me as coldly as if I were her enemy. I curled my lip and took a step back. I stared coldly into her eyes. The charade is over. Let's get divorced. With that, I walked away without waiting for her reaction. Ling Shuang did not come home. She did not even meet with me to discuss the divorce. She only sent a lawyer with the divorce agreement. The agreement stated that her personal assets had nothing to do with me. To compensate me for my 3 years of devotion, she would give me 2 million yuan in cash. She would also transfer our 300 square meter apartment to me. Go back and tell Ling Shuang I will divorce her, but she has to meet with me in person. Otherwise, I will handle this my own way and teach her what regret means. The lawyer gave me a long look as though I were trash. He gathered up the agreement and stormed out. Half an hour later, Ling Shuang called, sneering impatiently. Chengyun, you're refusing to sign the agreement? Do not tell me you want a share of my assets. Get real. Everything I own was acquired before marriage. You have no claim to a cent of it. If you are so confident, why not come see me yourself? Your company's smart companion robotic pets use a patented core program. Guess why I helped write your code? Biting back my anger, I shot back. Lingyun Technology has been public for less than 6 months. The core program for your best-selling robotic pets has been locked. I wonder whether your assets can cover the customer's losses. The patent for the core program belongs to me personally. When she asked me to rewrite the core program, I had her sign a patent licensing agreement. The license term was 3 years. The licensing fee was 1% of the product sale price. The product had not even been made when we signed the agreement. Sales were poor in its first year on the market. I did not feel right pressing her or the company for payment. Sales soared in the second year, but Lin Shen's grandmother's illness had left me exhausted in body and mind. I completely forgot about the license. If the lawyer had not reminded me to list my contributions to Lingyun Technology's public listing, I would never have remembered the patent license. Ling Shuang was silent for a full 20 seconds. Then she said reluctantly, name a place. I will make time to see you tomorrow. The coffee shop downstairs from your company. Noon. I hung up as soon as I finished speaking. Ling Shuang arrived right on time. She also brought 2 lawyers. I raised an eyebrow. In an even tone, I asked, are you sure you want them to hear our conversation? They are my lawyers. We're getting divorced. There's nothing they can hear. Ling Shuang looked at me with utter disgust. Chengyun, I admit deceiving you was wrong. But do not push your luck. The apartment we lived in is worth over 10 million yuan. You are already getting more than enough. The two lawyers looked at me with the same contempt. They sat down and opened their laptops, as if even looking at me was beneath them. I took a sip of coffee, then took out the asset records the investigator had legally obtained from me, and handed Shuang the list of her post-marital assets. Under Article 1062 of the Civil Code, and Article 26 of Judicial Interpretation 1 on Marriage and Family, Lingyun Technology's successful public listing was fundamentally due to the interactive core program I provided. Therefore, I am entitled to a proportional share of its increased value. Additionally, your company has yet to pay the patent fee for the core program. Products using my licensed patented program sold 1.7 million units over 2 years, at an average price of 16,000 yuan each. The licensing fee comes to 203.2 million yuan. I am not asking for much. At 20% of the increased value, you owe me 983.2 million yuan from Lingyun Technology's listing. You also owe me 815.4 million yuan from your personal investment gains during our marriage. We can divorce, but you will have to pay me 2 billion yuan in total. The lawyers and Shuang all changed expression, especially Shuang. She stared at me in disbelief. Her beautiful, refined face slowly twisted. Where did you get these figures? Illegally obtaining personal information is a crime. Chengyun, are you not afraid I will send you to prison? All the records were legally obtained. I curled my lips into a faint smile. Then I said unhurriedly, I forgot to tell you. I am filing for divorce in court. During the proceedings, I can apply to freeze every asset in your name, to legally preserve the property due to me. That is my legal right. Shuang was stunned again. The two lawyers she brought exchanged furtive looks. They picked up the asset list I brought and looked it over. The atmosphere gradually froze. Shuang gritted her teeth and glared hatefully at me for a moment. Then she turned to her lawyers. It was all legally obtained. The person who issued the list is a renowned divorce lawyer in the field, Liang Mingyu. Something clicked in my mind. I recalled the investigator's amused expression when he learned Shuang's identity. For some reason, my unease settled. Liang Mingyu had a nickname in legal circles. They called him the friend of wealthy divorcees. In every high society divorce case he handled, not a single woman left with nothing. Some even walked away with more than 70% of the marital assets. Shock flickered across Shuang's face. Gritting her teeth, she told her lawyers, go back and redraft the divorce agreement first. I will talk with him. The two lawyers looked at me with newfound wariness. They excused themselves and left. Once we were alone, I stopped pretending to. I took a sip of coffee, leaned back lazily and sneered, Miss Ling, you seem to have forgotten something. Grandma is not related to you by blood. I can also report you for marriage fraud and have our marriage legally dissolved. Are you insane? Shuang's composure shattered at once. The arrogant disdain she had shown from the moment she walked in shattered completely. I am only legally protecting my rights. As far as I know, you are indeed your father's only legitimate daughter, but he also has several illegitimate sons. Do you think he would let someone who, for so-called love, wouldn't hesitate to break the law or act like an emotional fool, inherit the Ling group? Even if he would, the company's shareholders would not. Shuang, do not think ordinary people are easy to bully. Shuang was cowed by my presence. Her face gradually turned pale. I felt utterly satisfied. Then I drove the point home. You swindled a total of 3.164 million yuan from me. That is far above the threshold for a marriage fraud case. An heir worth tens of billions of yuan, defrauding someone of less than a luxury car's price for her beloved old flame. If your father's illegitimate sons learn of it, they will want to set off fireworks in celebration. All color drained from Shuang's face. Her lips parted. She spoke with difficulty. Chengyun, this is extortion. Her words made me laugh. I scoffed mockingly. I am merely stating what you did, and legally protecting my rights within the limits of the law. That is not extortion. Shuang was left speechless. She shot me a vicious glare, then took out her phone and messaged someone. I did not care in the slightest. I shifted into a more comfortable position and patiently waited for her decision. 1 minute passed. Shuang's face went dark, then pale, changing back and forth. Another 30 seconds passed. She drew a deep breath and said reluctantly, I agree to your divorce demands, but I do not have that much cash right now. I raised an eyebrow and smiled. I drawled, if you have no cash, use real estate or shares to settle the debt. No cars, no houses or villas either. I have calculated the premarital assets in your name. The building beside Lingyun Technology belongs to you as well. It is worth 1.5 billion yuan. And do not think about calling the police to send me to prison. I have far more evidence than what I have shown you. I do not mind if we destroy each other. From dating to marriage, I had always been patient with Ling Shuang. But being patient does not mean I am easy to bully. Ling Shuang probably never imagined she would stumble so badly over someone she had dismissed. For the first time, the way she looked at me held the respect I deserved. She stared at me blankly for a long time. Her voice gradually turned hoarse. Chengyun, do not speak to me in that threatening tone. Few divorce lawsuits are granted on the first hearing. I can keep dragging this out, and I have countless ways to take away your freedom. I nodded. Then I laughed again. Do whatever you want. You can even drag things out while having your financial team. Turn your marital income into debt. I just wonder whether your illegitimate half-brothers will give you the time. Ling Shuang's only advantage was the immense influence of her maternal grandmother's family. Chairman Ling did not dare deny her the family business, and she was genuinely capable. Lingyun Technology grew from a tiny workshop into a publicly listed company. Even with the Ling Group's backing, that still proved her capability. To destroy all that, I only needed to report her for marriage fraud. Ling Shuang must have realized that too. Her lawyers had likely received instructions. Before I had even left the cafe, I received a transfer of over 3 million yuan. The account's last digits did not match Ling Shuang's usual account. What a ridiculous move. I opened the bank notification message, then smiled without humor. You do not think transferring the money to me means it is no longer fraud, do you? If I call the police right now and report suspected financial fraud, this will still become a huge scandal. Ling Shuang was completely stunned. Her arrogant, overbearing air silently vanished. Chengyun, let us negotiate the divorce properly. I agree to give you 2 billion yuan, but you must promise not to go to my father. I cannot promise that at all. I looked deeply into her eyes. Fine, I can agree to the divorce. Contact me once the agreement is ready. First, I would get the money. Then I would make her pay the price for what she had done. I had never been a good man. Ling Shuang visibly relaxed. Her tense features eased slightly. Dividing the assets will take some time. Give me 1 week. Once the agreement is ready, I will have my lawyer contact you. Until then, I hope you will remain calm. I knew exactly what she was planning. She simply wanted to use this time to make trouble for my parents, to make me back down. Then I would have no choice but to accept her divorce terms. But she did not know. My parents supported my divorce and were prepared for her retaliation. Given the Ling Group's influence in hiking, my parents' live streaming accounts could be shut down without cause. She knew where my weakness lay, and I knew what she feared most, but I could not back down. After leaving the cafe, I called my lawyer and told him the outcome of our negotiation. At today's meeting, I recorded everything from start to finish. A week should be enough to settle this, but you must be prepared to go to court at any time. You can never be too careful, I answered with a smile. After hanging up, I went to the police station to file a report. I reported an unexplained large transfer into my account. The police were extremely thorough. They quickly contacted the lawyer who made the transfer and asked why. The lawyer was fuming. He had no choice but to admit that Ling Shuang and I were divorcing by mutual agreement. He claimed it was money I had previously transferred to Ling Shuang, which she was now transferring back to me. The police were speechless. Still, they issued me a filing receipt, and once again, I got the whole thing on record. When I returned to the company, my resignation was approved. I completed the resignation process, then immediately bought a high-speed rail ticket home to help my parents renovate our ancestral house. Ling Shuang moved quickly. She had the divorce agreement ready by the 4th day and asked me to return to hiking to sign it. I sent the electronic agreement to Attorney Liang. Only after he confirmed there were no issues did I return to hiking. We met again at the cafe beneath Lingyun Technology. Following Attorney Liang's instructions, I got straight to the point. Given your Ling family's standing in hiking, we do not need to wait through a cooling-off period for the divorce. Once the properties listed in the agreement are transferred and the cash reaches my account, I will sign and go with you to get the divorce certificate. Ling Shuang looked as though she had swallowed a fly, but she did not dare refuse. A newly appointed heir could not withstand much turmoil. At my request, Attorney Liang withdrew the divorce lawsuit. 3 days later, the 26-story grade office building beside Lingyun Technology was transferred into my name. The large luxury apartment we shared after marriage, as well as a 2-story duplex of over 1,000 square meters downtown, were transferred as well. The cash, including the patent licensing fees owed to me, came to a total of 350 million yuan. With both sides' lawyers present, I signed the divorce agreement. Then I followed Ling Shuang to the Civil Affairs Bureau to collect our divorce certificates. As we left the Civil Affairs Bureau, with a touch of malicious delight, I sent her Lin Shen's files from abroad. As for whether she read them, I did not care one bit. I followed attorney Liang to his law firm. In accordance with our agreement, I paid the investigation and legal fees for this divorce. The total was 50 million yuan. Besides divorce investigations, we also handle corporate investigations. Let us work together again if the opportunity arises. Attorney Liang walked me downstairs. He quietly warned me, you should leave hiking for a while. Do not end up with the money, only to lose your life before you can spend it. I accepted his kindness. I openly showed him my booked high-speed rail ticket. I am leaving shortly. But the Ling family still has plenty of drama ahead. Be sure to keep an eye on it. Attorney Liang laughed cheerfully. I returned to the spacious apartment we had lived in after marriage. Ling Shuang had taken all her belongings. She had not left a single thing behind. Fortunately, she had not wrecked the place. I quickly packed my luggage, deleted her fingerprint access, and changed the password. I called the local courier and handed over the documents I had prepared. The recipient had to sign for them in person. I told the courier they were extremely important documents. This was my second divorce gift to Ling Shuang. The recipient was the chairman of the Ling group. Once I boarded the high-speed train home, messages flooded in from a wealthy gossip group. I opened the chat and burst out laughing. Lin Shen returned to the country today. Miss Ling, whom everyone expected to meet him at the airport, never showed up. She did not even arrange a driver to pick him up. Looks like her old flame has lost his shine. Not long ago, we heard young Miss Ling divorced for her old flame, and she has already dumped him? Lin Shen already has another woman abroad. Young Miss Ling isn't in the business of collecting trash. Why would she want him back? I heard the Lin family is waiting to see what happens. Without young Miss Ling backing him, this eldest son, who has no support from his mother's family, will likely fade into obscurity. I closed the chat window, then called my parents, thoroughly satisfied. I had no interest in Ling Shuang and Lin Shen's love-hate drama. What I wanted to know was whether, after her father learned of the outrageous things she had done, he would still let her keep her position as heir. I got my answer the next day. Ling Shuang was kicked out of the group headquarters and put in charge of a game development subsidiary. After lunch, Ling Shuang called. Chengyun, you set me up. Young Miss Ling, important people do tend to have short memories. If I had truly wanted to set you up, after we got the divorce certificate, I could still report you for marriage fraud. I gave a cold laugh. I'm only seeking justice for being deceived. Ling Shuang hung up in a rage. Less than half a month later, the gossip group was filled with news of the Ling family's eldest daughter battling the illegitimate sons. A bombshell, she had sent 3 brothers to prison in one fell swoop. Ling Shuang really was capable. With one scheme, she eliminated 3 rivals. But Lingyun Technology's product reliability was also called into question, and sales plummeted. She hurt her enemies but badly wounded herself too. When Ling Shuang called me again, I was helping my father plant roses in the yard. Her tone was especially aggressive. Like a madwoman, she screamed curses at me. Chengyun, you are an animal. It was bad enough that you took 2 billion yuan in the divorce, but you also set such a huge trap for me. Young Miss Ling, I have already shown you mercy. If I had truly wanted to ruin you, I would never have told you what kind of man Lin Shen is. I would have waited until you discovered you had become the other woman. And the biggest joke in the circle, that would have been setting you up. I tossed aside my trowel, rose, and went to sit in the pavilion. In a fine mood, I said, you should thank me. If I had not set that trap for you, you would eventually have been stripped of power and driven out of the Ling group. Those illegitimate sons are truly useless. What a pity. I had prepared that gift so carefully. I really should thank you. Thank your whole damn bloodline. Ling Shuang hung up in a fury. I gave a low laugh. Then I called my father over for tea. I had made a clean profit of 1.8 billion yuan from one marriage, and there would be a steady stream of patent licensing fees from now on. Ling Shuang was far more than my ex-wife. She was my personal goddess of wealth. Thank you, my ex-wife, my personal jackpot, for making me rich overnight.